Hey, what's up, world, and welcome to episode 123 of the Take One podcast. I am your host, August C. Jones, and today we got a few things just to talk about. Not too much has hit the movie sphere for me to go ahead and jump into, but there are a couple significant things, and then I'm going to jump into the box office segment, and then we're going to cover some movie reviews at the end of this podcast. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. So first thing I wanted to get off the bat, right off the bat, is the whole Avengers thing. Now, I didn't said it in my last podcast and everything else about just everything, just Avengers. You know, we're less than a month away, and it's like literally, like I'm going to be talking about this a lot. Any new news come out, we're going to be talking about it. And I talked about it in my last episode about, you know, the tickets going on sale April 2nd, is which what a lot of places have been saying that, like, this is what's happening at this time, April 2nd, or whatever. And I've been hearing this for months with like several sources. One of the main sources being John Campea. And so I'm just sitting here waiting, like everybody else. Like, I want these tickets, blah, blah, blah. And, so we got, well, at least I got confirmation that the tickets definitely are going to go on sale, if not by tomorrow, sometime soon, which I really think it is tomorrow. So I have the Atom Ticket apps. I have Fandango as well, but I usually use Atom Tickets or whatever to get my, tickets, unless, Fandango is having like a special promotion, like an early screening or something that's only with Fandango. Now I use that. Or if, Atom Tickets don't support a certain theater and I want to buy my tickets ahead of time. But Atom Tickets is my primary, ticket purchasing app. And so today I went on there, just like I do every, like, some odd days or whatever, and just go to see, Avengers Infinity War, just to see if, like, tickets came up and no one said anything. And so I'll be like, just figured out I would probably be the first person to just go on the app and discover it and then get my tickets. Then everybody else start, listening it. But I mean, that's wishful thinking. But hearing that, it was just kind of like, a lot of things that people have been saying. A lot of people have been saying that, it's true. But going on there today, I discovered that Atom Tickets already put the show times and stuff on there. Now, before they didn't. Usually it would say, like, this movie will be available such and such date, and it won't have anything else. Today it had where you can go to the show times, or go to the dates, then go to the show times or whatever, and press it. And I was like, at first I didn't recognize. I don't know why it didn't register, but I'm just looking at it, and then I realized that they didn't have this on there before, that I can actually click a showtime. So I'm like, oh my God, the tickets are on sale. I got so happy. But when I pressed it, a little notification popped up and said, we're excited too, but tickets aren't available yet. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like, really? Like, they are so wrong for that. And this is the perfect day to do it. This is April Fool's Day. This was the exact perfect way to do that. It just, man, I don't know if that was just something that they did on purpose, or it was just something that they did and it just ended up planning out that way. But that was just like the perfect way on the perfect day to do that. But yeah, that just lets me know that tomorrow, most definitely, tickets are going on sale, because they're not about to put up something like that just to say that, we're doing it like a week in advance. Like, no, they're gonna do this days prior or whatnot. And I'm just like, I can't wait. Like, I don't think tonight I'm gonna be sleeping. I think tonight, even though, like, they've been saying, like, different times and stuff like that, I think, like, just on different coasts or whatever, the time zones, I'm gonna be waking up throughout the night checking Atom Tickets, going to Navy Pier, checking it, see if, like, they're on some stuff or whatnot. And then just keeping an eye on it around 7 o'clock. Matter of fact, around 6, 6:30, 7. When 7 hit and it come, I'm about to go ahead and get them tickets. Oh my gosh, y'all know how excited I am. Y'all can hear it in my voice. I'm so excited just thinking about it. I definitely want to see this movie. And I've already talked about how just, a lot of the scenes in the trailer may not end up being true. Or, not even true, but just in the movie. if that's so, that gets me a little bit more excited, because that just lets us know that we're gonna go into this movie blind. Even if you've seen all the trailers and everything else, you're going to go into this movie blind. But yeah, this is one thing that I'm truly excited on. But yeah, tickets most definitely confirmed. Maybe basically going on sale tomorrow. Another thing that was confirmed is the runtime. Now, before, it was one thing that was put out, like, just somebody putting out something and running with it. But I looked at the showtime or the runtime for the movie, and it says on the Atom app, 3 hours and 2 minutes. Which has me excited. Like, I would have been okay if the Infinity War was 3 hours as well. This one being 3 hours and 2 minutes. I know the 2 minutes don't matter, but still. I mean, because, like, more than likely the last 7 minutes of it is just all, credits or whatnot. But still, 3 hours and 2 minutes, that has me excited. But yeah, that's all I really wanted to talk about. I wanted to get into that because that was just something that was just so major that I just wanted to put out there. And trust me, none of this is April Fool's. You go, if you have the Atom app, you can go check on it and everything else. Yeah, this is an April Fool's. But also get into some more Avengers stuff. So one of the things that I didn't touch on was the whole China posters for Avengers Endgame. And a lot of the things on there, it does show, I mean, I'm just going this quick because there's not too much to say about it, but it does show a lot of, like, the characters that we've seen in the posters, like Valkyrie and Wong is up in there now, and it just really got me thinking, like, I don't know if they're going to have too much of a huge major role, but, it shows that they're going to have some type of a significant role in the movie. I mean, because I'm looking at the poster right now. Well, actually, one of them. It just shows, like, the original people that showed before. But then there's another poster that has more people on there. It has Valkyrie. It has Wong on there. So it gets me to believe that they're going to play a major role. And on this poster, I mean, it shows all the people that's alive that's going to do the avenging. And then the people at the bottom is going to have all the people that were dusted that needs to be avenged. Which is actually a pretty good poster. I know a lot of people aren't fan of posters where they have a lot going on, will, like, have every single character in it. But I don't care. As long as it looks good, I don't care too much for it. I really like it. I really like all of these posters. The other poster, like I said, it really just shows the other characters that we already know are a part of it. And I mean, hey, I don't care too, but I mean, it just got me excited. Now it got me a little bit more curious. Like I said, with the other posters, the individual character posters, I'm wondering what the significant characters that it had on the posters, because like I said before, you had Wong on the poster of his own, you had Valkyrie on the poster of her own, you had Pepper Potts on the poster of her own, you have Happy on the poster of his own, which those is kind of weird. Like, why would you put those two characters? I know they're not going to have anything truly significant. They're not about to just jump up into the ring and just start fighting. But, it's just, I don't know. Like, it just got me curious. Anyway, whatever. But I ain't going to talk too long on that. But, yeah, I mean, yeah, I like these posters. I really do. On one of them, it shows 4. So I don't know if they still calling it Avengers 4 over there, or if it actually is called Avengers Endgame. But, hey, it's whatever. But getting off of that, let's get into the next thing in movie news. If I hadn't said that this is a movie news segment. Mark Hamill has been cast as the new Chucky. Now, a lot of you probably don't know that there is a new remake, or a remake of Chucky, a new version of Chucky coming out that's not based on a possession from a serial killer onto a doll, but just simply artificial intelligence that has gone wrong. And when I think about, Chucky, despite, let's just throw away all just like the crappy movies that they then pumped out with Chucky and everything else, but the guy who did his name, the name escapes me, but if you're gonna bring somebody new to do the voice of Chucky, then yeah, Mark Hamill would be one of the best, if not the perfect pairing, which I would say just for me, the perfect pairing, because Mark Hamill, he does great with voice acting. I mean, he is the definitive, like, original OG perfect voice for the animated Joker. And that's what a lot of people just associate him with, besides Luke Skywalker in Star Wars. And just what he would be able to do with his voice and making a sinister sounding Chucky, I think he could do it perfect. Now, that's not saying anything that's a testament to, like, just how the movie may end up being, how the movie may turn out. But I can say right off the bat, Mark Hamill is like the perfect choice. Like, if I was making a Chucky movie and somebody brought it to me that the original person that's come back, his name is Brad Dourif. Am I saying his name right? Dourif. If he can't come back and do the voice, then we have Mark Hamill. I would say yes. Yes, 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 and yes. No no's, just yes. Like, he just, like, it just sounds perfect. It just sounds perfect. So, I don't know, I'm down with it. I'm just wanting to see how this movie gonna turn out. I have a doubt that it may end up being bad. Or, I have doubts that it may end up being good. But I just don't know. But as far as the voice of Chucky being Mark Hamill, I'm down with it. And so with that said, that ends the movie news. So let's go ahead and jump right into the box office segment. Now, for those who are listening to this for the first time, if you don't know how to do the box office segment, simply I give my predictions on the movies that I thought would take the top spots over the weekend. And then I go through what actually won the weekend. And then the movies that are coming out this coming weekend and my predictions for this coming weekend, which movies will take the top spots. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. So last week I said that Us was going to still be at number 1. Dumbo was going to be at number 2. Captain Marvel at number 3. Wonder Park at number 4. And 5 Feet Apart at number 5. And I was off. I was off to say the least. So Dumbo came in at number 1 over the weekend with $45 million to claim it. Number 2 was Us with $33.6 million. Captain Marvel came in at number 3 with $20.5 million. 5 Feet Apart took the number 4 spot with $6.2 million. And Unplanned, a movie that I didn't even think was going to be in the top 5, somehow made it into the top 5 with $6.1 million. And that says a lot. One thing that really stands out to me, which is, it's a surprise, but it's no surprise, Dumbo taking the number 1 spot. I didn't think that it was going to outbeat Us, but, I should have simply thought. I mean, because, simply I didn't think that Dumbo was going to do too much, because I really didn't hear a lot of buzz going into it. Just simply through my eyes, I really didn't care too much for Dumbo. It wasn't a movie that I was clamoring to see, but, of course, taking my son, I was going to go see it. And then, I was going to see it anyway, even without my son. If I didn't take him or he didn't want to see it, I definitely was going to see it myself just to see if it is good. Because, that's what I do. And, I actually really did like it. So I understand why I did take the number 1 spot. Before I didn't really care for it. But I ended up really just coming out of here just really, I recommend it. I really would. Us, I thought we'll take number 1 spot again. But, yeah, it makes sense that it would get knocked down to number 2. But it's not by too much. Not by too much. A little bit over 10 million or whatever. But not by too much. The other thing that stood out to me was Wonder Park was knocked out of the top 5, and that 5 Feet Apart stayed at in the top 5, but went from number 5 to number 4, and the one that replaced Wonder Park at the number 5 spot was Unplanned, which was a movie that was. I didn't think that it was going to, be in the top 5, because I don't even think I said it for movies that are coming out this week, because I haven't even seen a trailer for it. That's a movie that wasn't even on my radar. But since it's in the top 5, that got me thinking, like, no, maybe there's something to this movie. Maybe I might go check it out. And I may end up checking it out this week. So I don't know. But it looks like something that's worth checking out. So I may end up checking out, but that was a surprise to me. Other than that, nothing else really like stood out to me. But as far as the movies that's coming out this weekend, there are 3 movies that's coming out this weekend, which is Shazam, The Best of Enemies, and Pet Sematary. Shazam, which is a movie that's just part of the DCEU, or as I like to call it, the BVSU. Batman v Superman universe or whatever, everything that takes place up in that timeline. And it's just about Billy Batson becoming a superhero named Shazam and learning what it is to be, a kid trapped in not trapped, but being able to become a superhero by the call of Shazam. And then The Best of Enemies is Taraji P. Henson's new movie where she is trying to fight injustice of just the Ku Klux Klan and just, with black people and just this whole kind of fight along with it. And then Pet Sematary is a remake of the Stephen King novel, a reimagining of the Stephen King novel by the same name, starring Jason Clarke, where he loses his daughter and buries her into the pet cemetery in which things are known to come alive. And surprisingly, or not surprisingly, his daughter comes back to life, but not the way that he remembered her, and crazy things start happening. So, going into this, what are my priorities for this weekend? This weekend, I've already seen Shazam. I'm definitely going to go see it again because I want to do a spoiler review for the ST podcast. So definitely going to go see it again. I don't know if I'm going to see it again this weekend. Probably might see it next week. But The Best of Enemies, definitely really do want to see that. I definitely want to see that. And Pet Sematary, yeah. I think Pet Sematary is the priority. And then I'm going to go see The Best of Enemies. I don't know if I'm going to be able to see it Sunday because I got a lot going on. So I probably might end up seeing it next week, toward the end of next week, The Best of Enemies, because it's gonna be a lot going on. Plus Sunday is WrestleMania, which it really dawned on me. So I'm like, okay, I gotta go check that out. So yeah, this week is gonna be Pet Sematary. I don't know when the next time I'll be able to watch a movie, but hey, I mean it's it's life. It's life. So, let's go ahead and get into my predictions, and then we're going to jump right into what's new to rent, stream. Well, rent, own, or stream. That's how I got it up in my notes. But over the weekend, what I think is going to take the top spot, of course, Shazam. I think is going to take the top spot. Pet Sematary, it has enough buzz going around it as far as just the advertisements and everything else. And plus, it's a known popular property that a lot of people love the originals, which I think a lot of people are going to go see this. And then a lot of the young generation going to want to see, a horror film. So it's going to put it up there. And I don't think it's going to be Shazam, but it's going to be damn near close. Dumbo is going to come in at number 3 again. The Best of Enemies, it has Taraji P. Henson up in there. And I know a lot of people are fans of her, and just it looks like it's a really good movie. So I think it's going to be a lot of people's radar. Plus, I've been seeing a lot about it, so I think it's going to be up there. And Us, unfortunately, I put it down to number 5. I think that it is going to, I ain't gonna say lack, but it's going to be outbeaten by the 3 movies that are out now, or coming out this weekend. So yeah, at number 1, Shazam. Number 2, Pet Sematary. Number 3, Dumbo. Number 4, The Best of Enemies. And number 5, rounding it all up, is Us. So that ends the box office segment. Let's jump right into what's new to rent, own, or stream. So there are 4 movies coming out tomorrow, and the movies are Bumblebee, The Mule, Vice, and Nancy Drew in the Hidden Staircase. So on this podcast, I'm going to be doing a review of Bumblebee and Dumbo. So that's what I'm going to be doing next. I already have my review for Nancy Drew out on my channel. I did it as part of one of my podcasts. So you can go ahead and check that out. I put it in the segment section. movie reviews and everything else. So you can go ahead and check that out or whatnot and get my thoughts on it or whatnot. So yeah, so those are the movies coming out tomorrow. So let's go ahead and jump right into movie reviews. And this movie is about a struggling circus owner of a struggling circus that is desperate for a main event act to put him on a map when he comes across Dumbo, a baby elephant with enlarged ears that can fly. After being placed at the top of the marquee of the circus and highly publicized, he catches the attention of a greedy corporate business owner who wants to put Dumbo in his circus. And one of the things that I can say about this movie is that I literally forgot that it was a Tim Burton movie. And that's not saying that it's a bad thing. I'm just used to a particular style of his, and this is kind of different from what I'm used to, but that's not really putting anything against them because I did like it. And one of the main things anybody can take away from this movie is the overall look and character of Dumbo. He is the title character, but there is so much more that goes into him. I love how far CG has gone within the past decade, and it just shows how realistic things can look in movies, because Dumbo was very realistic looking. From the close-ups and how the texture looked on Dumbo made it all the better to suspend disbelief, because this animal really is not here. And even just following Dumbo throughout the movie in certain parts, whether it was something that has to do with humor or just a dramatic scene that he shows sadness, it was felt and it would have you sympathize with the character that's not even there. And as far as the rest of the actors, everybody did fine. Danny DeVito as the eccentric circus owner plays his role the way that you would think that he would play it. And Colin Farrell did good in his role as a father trying to reconnect with his children. And Michael Keaton, for the most part, was very much just a typical villain with nothing more to his character than just being a villain. And I guess you could say it was kind of a reverse, because the last time I remember them being on camera together, Michael Keaton was the good guy and Danny DeVito was the bad guy. And if you don't know what I'm talking about Batman Returns. So I guess it comes full circle. You get it? Return, full circle, never mind. And the children actors did do fine as well, since they are in majority of the film playing as Dumbo's friends and his caretakers. And I mentioned this slightly before, this movie does have a lot of emotions and deals with a lot of real issues, like getting used to life without a loved one, and how it was delivered throughout the movie. Even in the beginning, you felt it. Along with that, it does have a lot of dark parts to it, not too dark for younger viewers, but it does get into certain things that unfortunately did and do happen in circuses. But overall, this is a good movie. I myself and my son both enjoyed it. I don't remember too much from the original Dumbo movie to make a comparison, but I think a lot of people going into this will come out really liking it. There's a lot of depth into the story and the characters that were fleshed out that will get you invested in what's going on. And it's just a fun movie to check out. And with that, I give this movie an 8. So if you're not busy this weekend and you don't want to take the kiddos to go see Pet Sematary, then go ahead and take them to go see this. Or Shazam. I mean, you can't lose with either one. And the other movie I'm gonna jump into is Bumblebee, which stars Haley Steinfeld and John Cena. And this movie is about Charlie, a 17-year-old girl who is on the cusp of turning 18 and is trying to find her place in the world after losing her father, who passed away years ago. She discovers Bumblebee, a battle-scarred, broken Autobot who is sent on a mission to Earth to protect it until the rest of the Autobots can make it there in safety from a civil war raging on their planet between the Decepticons and Autobots. But while he's there, he befriends Charlie, and together they form a friendship in which she ends up helping him fight the Decepticons that are tracking him, as well as the government who thinks that he's a threat. One of the things about this movie I like is Haley Steinfeld as the main character. She did a remarkable job in her role and is truly a standout in her performance. But to be honest, that's not really saying too much, because everyone else around her didn't do a great job or just not a good job at all. As she plays her character good with the dramatic scenes and everything that comes with selling her character to the audience, not a lot of the other characters really stood out, but I think that was on purpose to make her relationship with Bumblebee the highlight of the film, and Bumblebee also was a huge highlight of the film for me. The chemistry between both characters, the humor, it all worked, and she isn't like Shia LaBeouf's character. She doesn't play an overcrowding role overshadowing the title character, Bumblebee. Each character character is given their time to shine separately and together. And I know a lot of reviewers or critics may make comparisons of E.T., but honestly, personally, that didn't bother me. I went into it hopefully to see a good movie, and that's exactly what I got. And the CG looks incredible. It blended in nicely with everything, but one of the highlights of the film for me is, unlike the other Transformer films, the action scenes are easy to make out, and it is just not a clusterfuck of things happening that we're supposed to think is fighting, and it just turns out to be visual noise. And the romantic element of the movie with her and the boy next door playing as her love interest didn't work for me, and it could have been cut out the movie and it would have been all the better for it. And lastly, let me not forget about the villains. The villains in the film are just villains, nothing more, nothing less. They didn't really have any depth to them. They just came to Earth just to do bad things and stop Bumblebee, and that's the extent of just the description of them. But, and also let me not forget to mention John Cena's acting is just horrible in this movie, but he does deliver one of the funniest lines of the movie, pointing out why the humans shouldn't trust the Decepticons because simply their name is the Decepticons, and saying that doesn't raise any red flags to you. But overall, this is a fun action adventure sci-fi movie, one of the better Transformer films, but that's not saying too much if you've seen the other Transformer films. It does have a lot of elements that work for it, from the characters to the relationships that they form, the action elements with the great special effects, the story, and it has some elements that didn't work for the film. And it really does have a lot to offer, and it is a step in the right direction for the Transformer films if they do not try to bring out a sixth film and carry on from the regular franchise but restart it new. But it is definitely worth checking out, and I give it an 8. I really did enjoy it. And so with that said, that wraps up this episode of the podcast. I'd like to thank you guys for joining me, and I will catch you guys on the next one, which I think I will try to have it out by Wednesday, so I will catch you guys then. Peace out. Hey, before you guys leave, make sure you hit that like button as well as that subscribe button. And you see that little bell? Make sure you hit that to turn on your notifications. That way you'll be notified for anything that appears on my channel. Hope to see you guys next time. Peace out.